Good morning, I'm David Heine, and I'm here early this morning at Madame Tussaud, where we're going to talk with Christa Hobo. Christa, could you tell me who makes these remarkable
wax figures?
wax figures?
We have our own studio in London, and all is made there from beginning to end. So from the initial photos and meeting the person to the final stages of the actual figure itself, it's all made in London in our studios.
So there's special people that are creating these. Do they have special, like the eyes are so remarkable in these figures? Do they model it after the real people?
They certainly do. What usually happens is we say, oh, we'd like a figure of a certain person, and then we contact London and we let them know, and then we invite one or two or three of the studio people over, the sculptors, to come and meet the person, and they measure him or her. And what they also do indeed is they have a whole chart of eyes. We have eye experts even, we have eyebrow experts, we have facial expression experts, and what they do is they'll take, literally, they have a chart of various colors, and they'll take it and they'll match it specifically to the person's eye. There's millions, well, millions probably not, but many colors where they are trying to get an exact likeness. And those are made of glass, they're not made of wax.
So the people actually come themselves and are measured fully and meet the person, the modeler, I mean, it must be an artist that does this. Do the people come back when their wax effigy is done?
Yes. What usually happens here in Amsterdam is we have an onthulling, which is a unveiling of the figure, and it's always nicest when the personality is able to do that, him or herself, and it does happen usually. The royal family didn't do theirs, of course, but other celebrities do. Diana in London has posed twice for hers, for her likeness, and that is now one of our newest figures here in our museum as well.
Now, how do you select who you're going to represent here?
We have a committee of about 4 to 5 people here internally who decide that, and it's based mostly on, throughout the year we have an enquête, which is a questionnaire, a search to see what the visitor would like, what figures he liked to see or she, and which they would like to have included in our collection, which isn't already included. So it's pretty much from the visitors themselves. They decide what they want, and the biggest response, that's usually who we go with. Or if it's someone we just really want to honor, as a Dutch person or just a person at large.
Now the clothing seems to be remarkable, remarkably like that you see the people in when you see them maybe on television or wherever you might see them. Mm-hmm. Is the clothing something you get from the person, or?
Indeed. Just about everything has been donated from the person themselves. So you know, there's Anthony Hopkins over here. He's donated an entire outfit that he's worn himself already. From the shoes to the shirt to everything, really. And that's what really makes it authentic, I think.
So what's the history of Madame Tussaud? How did it start, and who was she?
Madame Tussaud's name was Marie Grosholz. You could probably pronounce that better than me. She was born in 1761 in the Alsace, and she actually was sort of an apprentice to a wax modeler of her day named Dr. J.C. Curtius, and he was actually invited by the French royal family prior to the French Revolution to come and you know, teach and do things with the French royal family. And then the sister of Louis the 16th, she spotted Marie at a young age, and she, you know, sort of took her under her wing and let her teach and live in Versailles, and that was very nice for her. And then several years later, Dr. Curtius passed away, and Marie sort of took it over on her own. And by the French Revolution, 1789, she was asked to do the death masks of the famous celebrity, well, not celebrities then, but royal family that had, the aristocracy that had passed away, including Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI, who she had known quite well already. So, and then she fled to London right around the turn of the century, 1802, and with her eldest son. She had been married since, but fled without her husband, so I don't really know the story on that one. But she then set up her own exhibit of her own works and traveled throughout England at the time. And then about the year 1835, she decided to put it under a permanent home in Baker Street in London. So, and then in 1971, the first non-UK Madame Tussauds was begun and born here in Amsterdam on the Kalverstraat, and since 1991 we've been here on the Dam Square, and this location is much bigger and better than it was in 71.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and what a view of Amsterdam up here, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you've set it up in such a way that there are various themes around the exhibits. How does that work? And well, tell me how it's set up from your point of view.
Yeah, well, when the visitor first comes in, he or she is taken in an elevator to the 17th century and given the story of Holland, which is nice for tourists who don't know much about Amsterdam or the city or the country and how we began. And there's a whole sort of history lesson about William of Orange and the Spanish war, I guess you could call it. And then you're brought to Amsterdam as it was then. And that's really nice. You could see Rembrandt and Vermeer and sort of these famous painters, and some of their paintings are actually brought back to life too as well. So the idea is that you're brought from the 17th century, Holland's golden age, into the modern time, and you just sort of progress through each stage. There's a Dutch room, there's a TV studio, there's the Dome, the Hall of Fame, where all of the personalities that have shaped our age are to be found as well. So it's a real, yeah, it's just a nice sort of hour to kind of stroll through and see how we've progressed as a people, and see sort of true to life those who have affected that age, so to say.
And so in the historical ones, you make a decision. I see that you have Wim Kok, the current guy, and going all the way back. How do you decide about the historical figures that you've presented here?
Yeah, that's a good question. Again, I think that is decided. It's been decided in London. London has a Hall of Fame, as I've been told. I've not been there yet myself. But these are decided through committee, through discussion. Who do we really think has shaped our age, and historically? And if you go in the Dome, in the Hall of Fame, the Dalai Lama is there, as well as Diana, as well as Van Gogh and Picasso. So these are real greats, and they're usually greats that just almost everyone would agree on. You know, it's not really room for discussion there. It's sort of like when you see them, you think, oh yes, I'm glad they're there. But occasionally we do get letters like, oh, please have so and so there, or we really would like to see a figure of their favorite person.
Like the De Boer twins who have now left Amsterdam. Huh?
Yes, they will soon be wearing the Dutch shirts rather than the Ajax shirts. But I think still in a few years that'll blow over, and people will be happy that they're still standing there, because they really are obviously great football players, or they wouldn't be standing there. Ajax or not.
Absolutely. Well, Christa, thank you very much. And could you tell me, when is Madame Tussaud open, and what are the hours?
Yeah, we are open every day of the year, including Christmas, which is nice to know for visitors out of town. The only day that we're not open is April 30th. The doors open at 10, and the last group can come in at about quarter to 6. So, and in the summer our hours are extended. So, yeah, my pleasure, and glad to have you here. Thank you for visiting Madame Tussauds.